I'm Jesse, and today we're going to take a look at Carcassonne, the South Seas. This is Carcassonne South Seas. Now this is not an expansion to the original Carcassonne. This is actually a standalone game. This is part of the Around the World series, and as far as I know, this is the very first standalone version of that series. Not quite sure what the next versions are supposed to be, but I thought this was interesting after I saw it online. There weren't too many reviews on it because it is fairly new, so I said, what the hell, let me pick it up and see what it's all about. So we remove the top cover here, set that aside. Inside here we've got the instructions. Don't need those. Go ahead and set those aside. We've got a couple of bags here of different stuff, which I'll talk about in just a second. And then we have all of our tiles inside here. Now I'm gonna show a demo just like I did in the original Carcassonne in last episode, but I'm going to select just a few of the tiles here and set them aside so we don't have to play through a full game here. Go ahead and set that aside, set the rest of these aside, and then of course we've got our starting tile here. Now in the original Carcassonne, you could tell the starting tile from the rest of the tiles by looking at the back. The starting tile was actually inverted. In this game, you can see that the starting tile, which I have right here in my left hand, is a bit more colorful than the normal tile here. So go ahead and set the starting tile down there and just flip it over so we can see it. So the bags here, what are in the bags? Well, let me start here with the meeples. Open up this bag here and dump them out. And pull these back. So we've got our meeples here. This is red. We've got black. Now this is a 5-player game, so we've got 5 sets of meeples here. So there's red, black. We've got blue. We've got yellow. And we've got green. The one thing you'll notice right away is there's a lot less meeples than there are in the original Carcassonne. We only have 4 in this game per color. So for this game, I think I'm just going to select black. Excuse me, I'm going to select red and yellow here. Let me set them aside for the moment. You might be wondering what all this other stuff is here that's left over. Well, we have shells, big and small. We have fish, big and small. And we also have bananas, big and small. Now in the original Carcassonne, when you played, what you were trying to do is complete different objects on the board to score points. You were either trying to complete a road, you were trying to complete a city, you were trying to complete a cloister, or you were trying to build a really big field to score points. In this game, what you're trying to do is complete objects not to score points, but to obtain wares. And if you look at the starting tile here, you can see that we have a fish out here in the water. We also have a shell here on the bridge. And then we have a banana here on the island. And as you complete each one of these objects, you score or obtain the wares that are indicated on those different objects. And what do you do with the wares? Well, let me set the wares aside here. With the wares, you don't score points, but you actually purchase points. You dump them out here. And you do so by purchasing these trade ships. So we've got a stack of trade ships here. And if we look at one of these, so for example, this one here has 3 fish on it. So as I'm playing the game, if I score 3 fish or obtain 3 fish, I can purchase this boat and score the number indicated on the boat. So in this instance, I would score 2 points. If we look at another one here, got this boat here. This boat here has a 5 on it, worth 5 points. But this, in order to purchase this boat, I would need 2 shells, a fish, and a banana. So as you're playing the game, collecting wares is important because you need to purchase the trade ships in order to score points in the game. So there is no scoreboard like there is in the original Carcassonne. They're simply purchasing the boats to actually score points in the game. And then at the end of the game, you tally up your number of boats, and whoever has the highest score will essentially win the game. Let me stack up the boats here, because we need them in a stack. And set those aside for the moment. And we also have these boat tokens here. And as you're playing the game, you can collect fish using different tiles that have boats on them. So let's say, for instance, this tile here has a fish on it. If I was red and I was playing the water here, and I selected a tile from the stack and placed it here, and there was a boat on there, and the boat was in the same region, same water region as the fish, I would collect the fish, and then, since I've already collected that fish, I would take one of the boat tokens here and I would cover up that fish. So that fish could no longer be collected through the course of the game. And I'll explain more on that once I actually start playing here. So let me get the wares out of the way. And let's go ahead and start the game. Again, I'm playing with red and yellow. So we've got our starting tile here. And we'll say that red is going to go first. So before we start, I've got my stack of boat tiles here. What I need to do is select the top 4 and place them face up. These are the boat tokens that are available for me to purchase as we're playing the game. Now if I happen to purchase one of them, what I do is I just take it away, put it in that person's pile, and then I would take the next one, place it face up, and that boat would then become available to purchase as well. Okay, so we'll start with red. So we got our starting tile on there. So as red, I drew this bridge tile on there that also has some fish. I think I'm going to play that right here. And I think I'm going to play the road, or sorry, the bridge. So I fling my meeple way across the room there on the bridge right there. So now it is yellow's turn. So yellow drew a bridge as well as a boat. So I think I'm going to play that right. I think I'm going to play that right here to extend. Well, let's play it up here because this is a separator right there, or the end of a bridge. So I'm going to play this up here, and then I'm going to play the road or the bridge for yellow. So now red's turn again here. So as red, I drew an island. I'm going to play that right here, and I'm going to place red on the island there. So now it's yellow's turn. Yellow drew some more of the bridge as well as a boat. And I think I'm going to play that up here to end yellow's road, or bridge, sorry, I keep saying road. So that's 1, 2, 3 shells for yellow. To get to my yellow meeple back, and I get 3 shells. Now we have a big shell and a small shell, just the same for all the rest of the wares. The big one counts as 3, and the little one just counts as 1. So I got 3 shells there, so I'll take a big shell for yellow and set that aside. So now back to red. So as red, I drew another piece of an island here. I think I'm going to cap off my island. I'm going to play another red meeple there on the new island. And then for this island, I've just completed it, so I get this meeple back, and you'll see that I get 1, 2, 3 bananas. So red has a big banana, yellow has a big shell, and we still can't purchase anything over here, so the game will continue. So it's yellow's turn, and yellow drew a piece of a road as well as a piece of an island. I think I'm going to play that right here, and then actually play the water as yellow. Now you'll notice that we've got some fish in here, and we also have a boat, but I can't collect those fish because I didn't just place a tile with the boat. In order to actually collect the fish with a boat, you have to place a tile right then that has the boat on it. In this instance, all I have is water, so I'm just placing my yellow meeple there in the water. So back to red. So red drew a piece of a bridge here with a boat. I think I'm going to cap off my bridge right here for red. So I get, actually let me cap that off, and then I'll play this road here for red. This completes this road, so we get 1, 2 shells. So 1, 2 shells. So red now has 2 shells and 3 bananas. If I look over here at my ships, I can purchase one of the ships right now. You can see that this ship here has 3 A's and a B. Essentially what that means is I need 3 of one ware and 1 of another. So I have 3 bananas and I have a shell. So I'm going to trade those in, and I'm going to capture this trading ship here. And now I have, red now has 3 points. So since I drew one of the 4 that was placed face up over here of the ships, I need to draw the next top one here from the stack and then place that face up so we can see what the next boat is that we can purchase. So it is now yellow's turn. So yellow draws, and what we've got here is a boat. So I'm going to place that here in the water. So now what I get to do is, since there's a boat here, I get to collect all the fish that is connected to the boat or connected to the water where the boat's at. So if we look here, we've got 1, 2, 3 fish. So I get to get my yellow meeple back. I get to collect 3 fish, and then taking one of the boat pieces here, I get to cover up the largest group of fish. In this case, it's going to be 2, not the 1. So I'm going to cover up this group of 2 fish right there. So we still have 1 fish that's available that someone else could collect. But because I covered up this group of fish here, we won't be able to earn those in the future. So that was yellow's turn. Now for red, I'm going to select this tile here, and it's got part of a bridge as well as an island on there. And I think I'm going to place that here, and then place red on the new island. And because I just completed my bridge here, I'm going to get another shell. So now it is back to yellow. So yellow goes, and we've got a bridge right here, which I think we'll play right here. And I'm going to play the bridge right there, and then instantly score, and then get a shell. So yellow now has 4 shells and 3 fish. And there's still nothing yellow can purchase because what we need of the 4 ships that are out here are bananas. And right now nobody has any bananas. So moving on to red's turn. So red draws and has a bridge on here. I think we're going to play that. Let's go ahead and play that. Go ahead and play that over here. And red will play that bridge. So now it's yellow's turn. So yellow draws, and yellow has part of an island as well as a bridge. I think we'll play the island, or excuse me, the bridge right here, and yellow will play the bridge. Back to red. Red draws part of an island. Red is on an island right here, so let's go ahead and play that. And I think we'll complete that turn. So now it's yellow's turn. Yellow draws and selects part of an island. We'll play that and play yellow on the island there. So back to red. Red draws, and we've got the part of an island as well as a bridge and some fish on there. Let's see, where can red go? Well, we can place, no, we can't place that there. I think what we can do is place this here, and red will play the island and instantly complete it because the island's now completed and get a banana. And red now has 2 shells and a banana, but still can't purchase anything because he either needs 1 more shell or he needs some fish. So we'll go back to yellow. Yellow draws a bridge piece. I think we'll play that right. Let's play that right here. And as yellow, what I'm going to do is play this right here, play the water. So you'll see that the tile I just laid has a boat on there. The boat's connected to the 2 fish that are there. So I'm going to instantly score. Going to cover up those 2 fish because I just collected them. And then yellow will get 2 fish. So yellow now has 5 fish in total and then 4 shells. And still can't purchase anything because he needs bananas. So it's now red's turn. So red selected a bridge with some fish. And I think red will play this over here. And for shits and giggles, let's play it there in the water. So we have one tile left. This is yellow's turn. Yellow draws a piece to an island, and it's got some bridges on there. Can't really complete anything for yellow, so we'll just place this right here. And that essentially ends the game because we are now out of tiles. Unlike the original Carcassonne, you don't get points or you don't get wares for half completing one of the objects on the board. You essentially don't get anything. The only way to score points is to purchase the ships over here using your wares. So all the meeples that are left out there, they don't score anything, so we can just go ahead and remove them from the board. Take back yellow. So if we look at the score here, red has 3, yellow has nothing. But then at the end of the game, if you have any 3 wares left, they're worth 1 point as well. So red has the ship with 3 on it, and then has 3 wares, which is worth 1 point. So red essentially has 4. Yellow, while it doesn't have any wares over here, or doesn't have any ships over here, does have some wares. So the fish is worth 1, because that's essentially 3. The shell is worth 1, because again, that's 3 shells. So we've got 2 points there. And then we have 3 wares left, 2 fish and a shell for 1 additional point. So yellow has 3 points, and red has 4 points. So red has essentially won the game here in this case. Now, like the original Carcassonne, in South Seas you'll find that it's harder to actually score points, especially if you're playing with a large group of people. The largest group of people I've ever played with was 4. The game does support up to 5, but as you're building out the different objects here on the board, you're trying to get wares. And if you are sharing an object with somebody, like if they work their way into your island, or they work their way into your fish, or they work their way into your bridge or whatever, it's extremely hard to collect the wares. And once you get them, you have to have the right combination to actually purchase any points. And like I said, you'll find that if you're playing with more people, it's hard to get that combination to actually purchase the points. Now, one tile that didn't come up in this game is, let me see if I can find it here real quick, is the market. The market plays just like the cloister does in the original Carcassonne. So in this case, this has a road on there, so we could play that essentially right here. And then I would place my meeple on there. This is the only meeple that stays there pretty much, I don't want to say through the entirety of the game, because that's clearly not the case, but it stays on the board, I would say, probably the longest, because you're trying to complete all the tiles around it. Once you do that, what you get to do is retrieve your meeple, and then you instantly score whatever the highest point value is on the boats that are face up over here. So let's say, for instance, I completed all of the tiles around this. I would then select, if we look at the point value over here on the boats, we've got 2 6s, a 5, and a 4. I would select one of the 6s, because that's one of the top point values, and then select the next boat from the top of the stack to lay face up. So completing the market is the only one where you don't score any wares. You actually score a point instantly by selecting the boat with the highest point value. What I will say about this game is, in terms of the scoring, you'll find that everything is a little bit more even though I think that there's a heavy emphasis on collecting fish, because as you look through the point value here in the different ships, you'll see that a lot of them, in fact most of them, include some sort of fish on them. So all of those down there include fish. The ones I'm putting up here I'll explain in just a second, but all of these down here include fish of some sort. The only ones that don't are the ones that have the AA and or B on them, the ones that just have shells and a banana, or the ones that have little graphs on them, such as these. And what these indicate are, you can have any combination of anywhere. So you could have, in this instance, you could have 3 shells, 2 bananas, 2 bananas, 3 shells, 4 bananas and a shell. You could have 1 fish and 4 shells. It's essentially any combination of wares there for those. But for the most part, the majority of these all include some sort of value of fish on them. So it becomes very important, I guess that one doesn't, it becomes very important to collect fish as you're playing the game. So placing your meeple inside the water and then being strategic when you're using the tiles that have the boats on them to collect the fish will become very important as you're playing the game. So if you do decide to pick up this game, keep in mind fish become very important in the game. So overall, I've played this game a number of times now, and overall I don't like it quite as much as what I do with the original Carcassonne, and I've found that that's the same case with the other people I've played with as well. The people that have introduced the original Carcassonne to absolutely love that game. When they play this game, they just feel a bit off-put by it and are taken aback by the new scoring system and the whole collecting the wares. If you're looking for a new challenge, I would recommend picking this up, especially if you're a huge Carcassonne fan. But just know that the scoring is a bit different and that things on the board here, in terms of scoring and collecting your wares, they all become a little bit more leveled and on more of an even playing field than what they do in the original Carcassonne. But just remember that it becomes very important to collect fish because there is a little bit more of an emphasis on that than there is on the rest of the wares in the game. So keep that in mind. Overall, like I said, if you're a Carcassonne fan, I would recommend picking this up just for variety. But just watch out for the scoring because it is a little bit different. Now there's one other thing I wanted to comment on, and that is quality. In the original Carcassonne, it was very easy to punch out the tiles. In this game, I found that was not the case. If you look at the tiles here on the back of them, you can see that there's some tearing and some ripping, and I'm very careful with punching out the tiles, and even being very careful, this still happened. I've looked on BoardGameGeek.com, and apparently I'm not the only one that's had this issue. So if you do pick up this game, just realize you may have a little bit of an issue removing the tiles from the cardboard backing. So till next time, this is Jesse saying, if you already have some meeples, hey, why not pick up some more?